It is conference championship weekend, and we have our final four teams. Out of the final four that we have, three of them are looking for their first Lombardi trophy, and our final four teams are the New England Patriots, who are looking to get another Lombardi trophy. They're the defending champions. They're trying to get their sixth Lombardi trophy, tying them with the Steelers for the most all time. We have the Jaguars, who have had one of the worst records in the league all throughout the past 6 years, but they have built through draft picks and free agency to get within one win of the promised land. The Philadelphia Eagles, who once they lost Carson Wentz, everyone was doubting the Eagles. They have managed to win games, game after game after game. Maybe not in the prettiest of fashions, but they have gotten the job done. And we have the Minnesota Vikings. We're looking to break the Super Bowl curse and are trying to become the first team to host a Super Bowl. So they're trying to break that Super Bowl curse, trying to become the first host city to play in the Super Bowl. Now, let's just break down these two conference championship matchups. So I know it was a little bit harsh on the teams, saying that this could be unwatchable, but we'll see how it is. Let's start with the AFC Championship game. We've got New England and Jacksonville. These two teams, New England's led by Tom Brady, 5-time Super Bowl champion. The Jacksonville Jaguars were one away from making it to the Super Bowl, and who have built up through the draft, led by a ferocious defense, led by Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in the league. Now, the way I see this, whichever defense, I think this comes down to defense in this one. Which defense eliminates the other opposing team's strength? For the Jaguars, I think they need to eliminate Tom Brady, force the running game to get involved early on. Because the Jaguars have done pretty stellar in the running game, especially against Le'Veon Bell in the two matchups they played against the Steelers. So I think if Tom Brady gets eliminated in this game early on, I think that Jacksonville has a good chance to win this game. But Bill Belichick strives in January and February. Once that calendar turns December, Bill Belichick gets it going, and he eliminates this opposing team's strength. Now, the two strengths that Jacksonville has is the corners led by Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Bouye, and Leonard Fournette in the running game. So I think if Bill Belichick, Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator, if they can eliminate Jacksonville's strengths, I think it's going to be a long afternoon for Jacksonville. But in this matchup, I'm going with experience over youth in this one. Because the way I see this, New England, they've ignored distraction after distraction all throughout this whole dynasty. Because Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, and Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, have been in the news lately about coaching vacancies. In fact, I think earlier today it was announced that Matt Patricia is most likely going to be the next Giants head coach. We'll see what kind of distraction, if they're distracted by it. But if it shows anything like the past, they won't be distracted whatsoever. I think New England gets this win, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be at a heavy toll, though. I'm going to say 31-23. New England gets the victory. Now let's go to the NFC Championship game matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, this is the battle between backup quarterbacks. And not too long ago, who remembers when Case Keenum and Nick Foles were both on the Rams roster? I remember. This is the battle of the backups. And I think this matchup does come down to quarterback play. Because if you look, the running back, as far as the strength at running back, I think Philadelphia has the strength in this one. Wide receivers, I think they're about even. Tight ends, I think they're about even. Defense, I'm going with Minnesota to have a better defense than Philadelphia. So I think right now we know the strengths. For the Eagles, it's the running game. For the defense, it's the Vikings. For the Vikings, it's their defense. So those two strengths. Wide receivers and tight ends, I think, are about even. So I think this matchup comes down to quarterback play in this one. And this is a hard one to predict. I think this matchup goes either way. It wouldn't surprise me if it was a 17-14 type of game. I see this being really low scoring. I don't see there being a lot of points in this one. But the way I see this, Minnesota's coming off an emotional victory against New Orleans. Philadelphia's also coming off an emotional victory against Atlanta. Both these teams were coming off an emotional victory. I know the Eagles had an extra day to rest, but if you look at Minnesota, they dominated the game throughout the most part of this game. Until the very end, Minnesota was in control in most of their game. Philadelphia wasn't as in control as what the scoreboard may want to indicate, or the stats want to indicate. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say 20-17. I think this is going to come down to quarterback play, maybe even some special teams. But I think the Minnesota Vikings will break the Super Bowl curse and be the first host city to play in the Super Bowl. I'm going with the Vikings to pick up a 20-17 victory to advance to the Super Bowl. So those are my picks. I've got New England and Minnesota in the Super Bowl. Comment your picks down below. I will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.